Madrijan Madden in Jalapa, Mexico. Great view of the mountains out there. I have spent a big chunk of time over the last couple of days listening to a podcast about catcalls on National Public Radio. Aisha Roscoe interviewing a woman who has done an art installation and now a podcast on the issue. I really wanted to hear what the women had to say because I, now 7 months in Mexico, have for the last 4 years or so gotten progressively more outspoken about how wrong I think it is that in modern U.S. urban environments, men are told that you can't say something nice about how a woman looks, which I consider to be such an aberration. But I was disturbed listening to the women's stories about how violent it can turn in a heartbeat. That would not be true in Mexico. No. Whatever may have been true at some point in Mexico about macho culture, it's sure not true any of the places I've been. And I've been in 3 big cities now, Victoria, Tampico, and now Jalapa, which is the capital of the Veracruz state. No. Men, now from here I'll go to Mexico City and we'll see what it's like over there. But Mexican men are sweet and gentle and respectful. They treat their children so beautifully. And certainly they treat the señoritas and the señoras that way too. And modern Mexican women are really tough. They're really tough. There are no pushovers at all. So I think it's partly to do with the inherent violence of American society. And I comment a lot these days about the trope, the stereotype that Mexico is a dangerous place. If you're not in a cartel area, it's not. People outside of cartel areas feel very safe in Mexico, partly because there's no guns. No, you can own a gun and keep it in your home for self-defense, but it's all very documented and very controlled by the government. And mostly people don't have them. They just don't have them. They have machetes to clear their fields and their underbrush. Carry knives mostly for utilitarian use. I have a long history of standing for women's rights. Starting in my 20s, I took all manner of workshops around gender issues and how to actively take a stand for the women around you. I did gender work in corporations for a lot of years, helping corporate men to see what the impact of their sexist behavior was on the women who were trying to get ahead in their corporations. In Asheville, North Carolina, I was a trainer for the Building Bridges program, which was trying to help white people see what it's like for black people in Asheville, and worked with a lot of great women trainers in all those situations. My retirement jobs were all frontline customer service jobs in Asheville, North Carolina after leaving Chicago. And in my role as a grocery store cashier, I implemented a lifelong commitment to validation. I learned it in reevaluation counseling, peer co-counseling in my 20s, and refined it over many years. I came to the conclusion in my 20s that one of the greatest sad things in our world is if you think something positive about someone and don't say it, it's a real lost opportunity. And culturally, we miss a lot of those opportunities. In my work as a grocery store cashier, my personal commitment was to give some kind of meaningful, fresh validation or affirmation or compliment to everyone who came through my line. And I never hit 100%, but I'd hit 80%. And in 30 seconds to a minute, it often was physical. It was a great sweater, nice smile, love your eyes, or, wow, you're so pretty. And I only once in 4 years can remember anything where it backfired. I had just said to this woman, wow, do you realize what amazing eyes you have? And she said, do you realize what a sexist comment that was? And I said, no, I don't. No, it was just what came to mind. It was totally innocent. And it was. And that's part of why nobody ever beefed about it, because it was so obvious that I wasn't trying to get anything from anybody. So I think one of the problems is if we use the term catcall, if we lump everything from really aggressive, leering, nasty stuff to, wow, hi, you're looking great today, all under the term catcall, and forbid all of it, we do tremendous violence to the relationships between men and women. In New Orleans, where I spent the whole winter of 22, no, very black infused and very appropriate on the street to say, oh, baby, that's a great dress. You're looking good today. And the woman would say, thank you for noticing. I said to a friend in the ecstatic dance community in Asheville, probably 10, 12 years ago, I looked up at her and she was standing on a balcony, and I said, you are a goddess. And she said, thank you for noticing. And it was a breakthrough in our relationship. In Asheville, I went into a different store, and a woman there said, hi, John. I said, hi, do I know you? And she says, oh, you probably don't know me. I went through your line at Earth Fair one day, and you told me I had a perfect nose. And you just don't forget shit like that. Men have got to be able to tell women they look good. I said to Joy Kennedy, one of my favorite customers at Earth Fair, 40-ish, family woman, professional woman, really strong and really sharp and smart. I said to her one day, you know, Joy, you are without a doubt the most beautiful customer we have here at Earth Fair. And she said, oh God, you don't know how much I needed to hear that today. And I said, Joy, you know, the way the world is turning between men and women these days, sometimes I feel nervous just saying something nice to a woman. And the conventional wisdom around the store is you don't do that. And I do it dozens of times a day, and it always works. And Joy said, what a shame. Every woman wants to be told that she's pretty. So women lose. Women lose if men cannot honestly say, wow, you're so pretty. Got to be able to say that. It's human. We can't erase that whole lineage in human history because of the excesses. I agree with the woman on the podcast. We need to train boys, especially, I'm still saying we, I think it's an American issue more than a Mexican issue. Train boys to be respectful and train them to walk a mile in a woman's shoes and listen to what it's like for girls and women. But don't stamp out our human connection where you can say, I on Twitter, when Twitter was still workable, 3 years ago I said, in view of the whole catcall thing, I said, you know, I still find though that in the right situation with the right woman I can say, ooh, mama, and it goes down fine, and it does. You don't use exactly that language in Mexico, but you can say, man, you're looking so pretty. And it's fine, because in Mexico there's not a violent culture. I'll keep puzzling on this one and keep having conversations. I welcome your comments to this video. I'm going to set up a YouTube channel specifically on gender issues in the U.S. and Mexico, because it's so wonderfully different in Mexico. Thank you.